here to everyone, and I want to say a very big thank you to you all for having to join. The song that was played was actually intentional. I just wanted us to, be in that spirit, but don't go too deep into the spirit. And apologies to those that are not Christians in the room. I recognize everyone. Hey, thank you so much, Anita. Good evening. Happy New Year to you. Thank you so much. No song was played, really. Can you hear my song now? Please let me
Mm,
close the door.
no, we didn't hear any sound. There was no sound.
But can you hear now? Okay, all right. Okay. I don't know what's wrong. I was actually playing a song for everyone to listen. I wouldn't know what happened. Okay, but that's not about it. I wouldn't want to stress about it. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, global citizens. All right, so my name is Eniola. Should you wondering who is this black diamond right in front of you all? It is I, Eniola. They call me Eniberi, and I'm a community manager here at Vesti. And I'm so excited to be having our first webinar for the year 2025. But before we get to start, I would like to ask questions, and I love the energy in the comment section already. Yes, I'd like to ask, how has been your day? I hope your day has been amazing. I want you to reply me, or if not, I'm going to call names. All right, so I want us to start as soon as possible because we have our guest already in the room. Okay, so please tell me, how has been your day? I hope your day has been really, really amazing. And how was your obule? I hope you did not spend all your December money on obule. January is long go. January is like 41 days, 3 hours, 1 second. So please, I'd like to hear you. How was your Christmas? How was your holidays? I would like to hear you. This is like the first webinar we're having for the year, and I think it's just okay having to ask how you all have been. And for those that are just joining us for the very first time, if this is your first time joining Vesti on any webinar, I just want to say you are welcome. Everyone is very important, but you are the VVIP on this in this room tonight, and I want to say welcome. Thank you so much for having to join, and also a big thank you to everyone that actually didn't share this information to themselves, having to share it to their contacts. I mean, to their family and friends. Perhaps maybe you shared it with your enemy, but I don't think that's possible. But if you have done that, it's okay. It's accepted. All right. So I would like to ask. So nobody's saying anything. How has been your day? For me, okay. Thank you, Anita. My December was good too. Yeah, holiday. Yeah, even though the holiday was short. It was short, but at least I was able to spend time with family, which is the most important thing to me. Yes, I didn't do any much obule like that. It was just the end of the year party here at Versi, and it was really amazing. All right, so I have just Anita replying me. Miss Shadi Edun, where are you chatting us from? Where are you joining us from? Has been your December. I hope you're able to do all of the, opules. All right, I think I'll have to call names right now. I have Mr. Akimbimi Temitayo. Can you say hi to me? Okay, all right. Miss or Mrs. Chidima Eze Onyasi, yes. And I have with me Mr. Elogoza Okundaye. Okay, Miss Shade is joining us from Lagos. Thank you so much. Miss or Mrs. Esther Moshobolaje. I don't know if I'm correct. I'm sorry. All right, so we have some other persons joining us as well. I just want you to say something in the room. If you don't say something, I'll not call our guests. So please say something. Let me know you all are in this room and you're ready to, learn something. And should you know of anyone that is supposed to be in this room and they are not here, please kindly send a soft reminder to them, having to tell them that they are about to hear the very first-hand information, trust me, when it comes to getting global opportunities and having to get your tech visa in the year 2025. So please do well to reach out. Happy New Year to you, Jane Courage. Where are you chatting us from? Thank you so much for joining. Okay, December was great. Thank you, Esther. Okay, we have more people here. Oh, thank you, Jane from USA. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, Mr. Fidelis Ume says that Obule was okay. Back to grind, of course. Everybody's serious like this, like this. So no more Obule. We are back to see. We're back to business. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so I think we should get started. I was thinking until we get to about 30, 40, because we had over 200 people registered for this webinar. And I'm expecting that the room is going to be so filled. I mean, people should be begging to want to come into this room. However, if you know that somebody's success and having to travel out is in your hands like this, and the spirit is telling you, please reach out to them. Send them this link. You might just be helping someone. You might just be changing the life of a whole generation, and you don't know, in your own little way, you might just be doing that. All right, so I'm so excited to be doing this, being the first webinar in the year 2025 here at Vesti, and I am so more excited with the fact that we're supposed to start with other topics, but we're so concerned about tech, tech bros and tech aunties, tech sisters, tech nieces, tech cousins, tech nephews, right? And we're like, okay, what can we do for, the tech industry? And we decided to kickstart the webinar, the maiden webinar in the year 2025 here at Vesti. And we did not just stop at that. We actually had to bring someone that's actually, that is a pro. It's not easy to get to meet people like this, and you would have to, they'll have to give you their time and having to make it up to places like this, because this is someone I'm telling you for 100%. She's very busy. She has a whole lot of things she's doing, and for her to, create time for you and I to be here, it's a whole privilege, and I do not want us to take it for granted, right? Because if you were to, probably get to meet her one-on-one, or maybe you want to see her take some nuggets about tech or anything, you would literally have to pay in pounds, right? You'd have to pay in pounds. But here we are. Vesti is giving you for free without paying a dime. And also, the second guest is actually someone that, for you to, get all the information she'll be giving you tonight, you literally have to pay for a particular session with us at Vesti. But no, we're not doing that. This is our own giveaway for you for the year 2025, and perhaps for the festive season here at Vesti. And I want you to make use of this opportunity. Should you are not ready, please get your materials ready, biro, your jotter. And if you want to be, you want to use your notepad, please avoid distractions, put away all phones, avoid social media like this, okay? Place your focus on this webinar and on the guests. For whatever information they will be dishing out tonight, I want you to take it and make use of it and avoid distractions. And please, if you have questions, do well to ask me. You could drop them in the comment section. So, ladies and gentlemen, coming on my list, or let me say on the microphone, yes, is a woman that I respect so much. And firstly, I want to say thank you so much for having to create time for us to, be here, to be live here, and to be able to give us, words of wisdom. Let me call it words of wisdom from you. So yeah, a minute, sorry. I'm trying to. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'll be calling on our first guest for today, and she's no other than Miss Oyin Damina, let me just give you a short bio. I know maybe some of us didn't get to see it on our LinkedIn or on our social pages, but I'll just read something little about her. Miss Oyin Osi is an award-winning global HR leader at the intersection of technology, global human resources, and a digital innovation with over 13 years of transformative expertise. Throughout her impactful journey, Ms. Oyin has been instrumental in the development and execution of HR processes, people, and organization strategies. A proven track record of success is evident in the pivotal role she has played in attracting, engaging, and nurturing talent for diverse multi-million-dollar projects. You heard that, multi-million-dollar projects across Europe, the Middle East, and of course, Africa. Ms. Oyi is an AI evangelist, innovator, and of course, the founder of Vimpai, the Tinder for jobs, a web application that helps ambitious talent just like you here, right, match with businesses and get hired, right? Miss Oyi is a proud MBA graduate in HR from the University of Essex. She also holds the prestigious Senior Professional Human Resources International Certification. The list is long. I don't want to start listing those, qualifications. But ladies and gentlemen, it's such a great honor to have Miss Oyin all the way from UK. It is not easy. Please drop your clapping emoji in the comment section. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining.
All right, thank you. Hi, thank you, honey. And nice to be here.
Yes,
Thank you.
ma'am. All right. So tell me, how do you feel to be here today with us finally?
I wanted to ask you what is Oble, but I said that don't let me sound like I don't know.
Okay, so let me give you an hint. So obole is like a trend that we Nigerians, let me say generally, people use because there's a particular song where they say obole, obole, obole. So people actually turn it to a song where, okay, maybe you party. It's just like another way of saying dirty December.
Okay.
Yes, that's it. Yes, ma'am.
I mean,
All
I'm
right,
happy
thank
to
you.
be here. Thank you for the warm introduction. And I'm happy to share with everyone here. So it's going
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so
to
much
be
for
like an
joining.
interactive section. And yeah, happy to be here.
All right, thank you so very much, ma'am. So let's get started. So because I know you're a very busy person and I wouldn't want to take your time. So now let's talk about the introduction to tech and migration pathways. So firstly, would you please share us your journey as a tech founder or professional and how it aligns with migration opportunities?
Okay, I'll just share a bit of my story, and so people will then from there you will be able to see how my path has cut across migration, technology, and what I'm doing now. So and then so from me sharing, people will start to really take nuggets that belongs to them or how they can then leverage their own skills for migration. So I started off from Nigeria. I was working in global recruitment, and then in 2019 I had the opportunity to relocate to Dubai for work, and I was working global recruitment, but we were working on oil and gas project. So I then relocated to Dubai. And I like to also say that it wasn't like the opportunity was presented to me or there was a knock on my door and the opportunity was given to me on a platter of gold. I actually had to ask to say, oh, this opportunity should it come out? Will I sort of be considered for it? And on the back of that, I was then preparing my own skills to be ready. So when the opportunity comes, I would not say, oh, wait for me. Let me go and upskill. I was then sort of preparing myself for that. Nobody has promised me an opportunity, but I was just getting myself ready. And when that came, I was well suited for it. So I was in Dubai for 4 years. And then again, when the opportunity came for me to move to the UK for work, like I say again, my story is different. I sometimes always have to ask or put myself in the sight of opportunity. I know some people are lucky wherever an opportunity just fly on them. But for me, sometimes I always have to really ask or just position myself to be seen by those opportunities. So for then again, I've always been saying during my appraisal or during when we're having dialogues, I'm always saying, oh, I would really like to work at the head office. Is always part of things I always sort of mention. So when that opportunity came again, I deliberately again asked, and it was also offered to me. So that's also about that. And again, just like the same. So I always say that I have like, I call it like my own MO. I just really have like my own, I have like my own what would I call it? I'll call it like, I just really have my own ways, my own model that works for me. And I think it can work for anybody. Is really look at what I want to do, have my own plan, position myself, ask, and when the opportunity is right, because I've already sort of upskill or be ready, and then I would then just really, it just looks like it would be a square peg in a square hole, because I was already sort of prepared for those opportunities that I'm seeking. That's how I do it. And yeah, that's it. And when I then moved to the UK, so because I am also always looking at trends, my former organization, it's not one that really rely or use a lot of tech, and I will be very honest. But because I'm always looking at trends, I'm always looking at what's happening. I'm always having my ears out there. I'm always using those information to upskill myself or to just get myself ready. I knew that tech was going to be the future, and it was something that I wanted to do. And I have started to, even when I didn't have any opportunities in code, so called, I've sort of started to put myself out there in terms of upskilling myself. When since about 5 years ago, while I was even still doing my work, I was just putting myself out there, doing different trainings, upskilling myself in things that I find interesting. And sometimes I do some courses and I really don't find them interesting. And I also remain true to myself, even while I know that tech is the future. I also want to do something that I enjoy, something that I like, that also collaborate all of the other skills that I had. So I don't want to throw any of my skills away just because somebody says, oh, tech is the thing. Then I sort of drop everything I'm doing and I start to learn how to code. That was not my own path. And I know that it might work for other people, but that's not just who I am, because I'm connecting everything I'm doing to my core. And you will see how everything sort of connected. So when the time to then I've started upskilling myself in technology, doing different courses. And when the time to then found my own business came, it was a bit of all of those skills that I've been gathering that helped me. And I always say that it took me, I'm not originally a tech person, but for me to put the team together that is helping, that's still working with me now, that we formed my organization together. I've already sort of started this ecosystem I have immersed myself in. So it was doable quickly for me because I knew where to look at developers. I just knew where to look at because I have put myself in that bubble. And when the time then came again, because when you leave an organization, if they are the one that sort of bring you around, you're sort of, for me, I was relying on my organization for the visa, because when you move around, you then need to get a visa. But when the time, all of the things that I've been doing sort of in silos, all of the things I've been doing outside my formal 9 to 5, they were the things I was able to pull together. And then I was able to apply for the global talent visa. And it was no brainer. I was able to get it. And I would like to, I know that people, and obviously conversation we get there, so don't let me just give everything away. But I would like to say that all of those upskilling, all of those things were things that I string together. And it bring me to saying that because I was doing things in line with what I enjoy, in line with what is complementing my other skills, even while I was sort of upskilling, transiting my skills, I made sure that it was tying back to those skills I was building in the HR world. It could tie back. And when I was going to ask to say, oh, I would like to apply for the global talent, it made sense to anyone. If you read my file, it just made sense because it was not like it was different from what I was doing. It was just like you leverage technology as an enabler, as an enhancer to just do what I want to do. For example, my business is Vampire, and what do? We are in the business of talent it aligns with where. So if I say that now I have a company that is helping leveraging technology, leveraging AI to help people match faster with businesses, you're not going to say, it just is a story that aligns. And that's how I have decided to evolve and leverage my skills for migration and for really any other thing that I want to do. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Honestly, I was enjoying the whole story because you didn't make it sound like as if it's that serious. And I love the fact that it has to do with self-effort. I mean, you're not depending on someone to have it get done for you. It's just you have to also do your own part. So now this will take me to the next question, which says that while you were preparing for, even though you mentioned them sort of, but you didn't go into detail, right? I would like you to mention some key factors that you were able to put in place when this opportunity came. I mean, you knew this. It's just like when you moved to Dubai, you were prepared, right? Because you asked for it. I know you asked for the opportunity, but for you to be bold enough to ask for those opportunities, there must have been some things that you must have put in place. So could you please shed more light on that, ma'am?
Okay. And you dragged a bit, but I as well, like what you were trying to say is when I moved to Dubai, when I was moving around, because you dragged a bit for me, was that the question?
Okay, no, I said, what are the key factors
Annie,
that
can you hear me?
Yes, I can, ma. Can you hear me, ma?
Yeah.
Okay. Shoot.
Yes.
Okay,
No,
I
Annie,
said,
I hear you. What were the key factors?
yeah, the key factors that you actually put in place in having to get all of these opportunities. I mean, the tech visa itself.
Okay. So now you're talking about we are specifically talking about the global talent visa. I'm going to
The
adjust my
thing,
video. So now, are you specifically now the question is specifically for the global talent visa?
no, about the Tech Nation visa, the Tech Nation. What are the things? Yes, what were the things that you put into place, the key things?
Okay. All right then. Okay. Yes, we're saying the same thing. Yes, that's fine. Okay. So, what were the things I put in place? So, first of all, because I won't say that I knew it was something I was going to do, but because I just kind of knew that visa was in my radar, and every opportunity I got, I was just preparing myself. And one of the key things that I did was one of the things that also made a very good impression on my application was 2 years before I applied for the visa, based on what I said, that sometimes I just go to seek out opportunity. I spoke to a friend of mine that owns a fintech company, and I just said, you know what, I have done Scrum Master, I have done product, I have done this, and I'm not really using those skills in my 9 to 5, but I would really like to use these skills to sort of to really work, like not fake project, real work. And I'm like, you don't even have to pay me for it. I just really wanted to see how it works in real life, how you build product in real life. I want to see how you run a proper software development company. And I said that, and they were like, oh, okay, you know how it is. Nobody will reject free labor or free work. So I did that, and it was supposed to be for 3 months, and then I ended up spending, I think, 15 months in the organization. It was one of the best moments of my life. I really enjoyed it, and that makes up for, like, I think 30 or 40% of my application, because when I was going to make my application, there are 3 criteria. You have the mandatory criteria, you have the optional two optional criteria. One of the optional criteria is to say that if you worked in a digitally led sort of tech company. And it just looked like, and when I was doing it years ago, even though I would say that I know that I was going to use that for something else, but I never really thought it was going to be that heavy. And so when I went to them to say, oh, we're putting anything together. It was true. I was working on this project, I was working on this team. So that made up for like 40% of my application. So that's for the people I work with. And I had like the real project. I could talk about the project, I could talk about the product because I was there. That was one. Then another thing that is also very important is, and I think that for global talent visa, and you call it technician, global talent is like the same thing. So pardon me if I'm just using this language. One thing that is very important, and I think you might cut across all of the application is there's no need for you. They don't want you to tell, show me. It's really, really evidence-based. So it's really like evidence-based. And I also want to correct the premonition if it looks like I did everything myself. At some point, I was working with a consultant to guide me in the things that I was doing, but I was heavily involved in what I was doing because that's personally who I am. I like to understand what I'm doing. So what I did was so all of my awards, speaking engagements, all of those things made up for my part of my mandatory requirement, because they want to see, before you say that I want to help the UK government to grow the digital economy, they want to know what have you done in your own country? What value have you added to your own country? So and they want to see that either you want to position as, you want to do either promise or talent. They want to see that you are a leader, even if it's a potential leader. So all those speaking engagements, all those newspaper articles, all of those things really, really helped me in terms of my mandatory criteria. And then, so I've said the mandatory criteria, all of those things, awards, all of those things put together, and that was it. And because as I was also working, aside the fact that I was working, I was also asking people, can I join your team to work? I also had my own business, which was leveraging technology, but wasn't fully in tech at that time. We were just transiting. So that was also there. And it's still in the business of helping talent. We were doing CV reviewing, LinkedIn optimization. I'm trying to let people know that even if you feel like your idea is the work you're doing, can this one fly? But as far as it's genuine and you are truly leveraging technology, or there's a technology part to it and you can prove it, he can fly. So I then so that was part of my mandatory criteria. And then the third part, which is my optional criteria too, was then, what have you done? Okay, it's nice that you're doing this, you're making money, you did this for people, they made a lot of money, the product is in the app store. What have you done outside of your work? And that's where the mentoring, the coaching, that's when I'm part of this organization. This is what we do. That's where that came in. So then again, I had all of that, and I was able to also position myself through that. All you just need to show is that you're doing that within the tech space, or what you're doing is adding value to the tech space of the tech ecosystem, and you're able to prove. Because it's not about saying, oh, this is what I'm doing, evidence-based. They want to see that you can prove it. And what I also like to say, there's a lot of preparation that went into my application. I took a bit of time because I wanted this to be right. So I took a lot of time to make sure that everything. So it's something, because I've been thinking about it, every of my move were very strategic. Every of my move were very intentional. The things I was doing, the places I was going, it aligned with where I knew I was going to. So everything I was doing, showing up, it was adding to my application, adding to my evidence. And so those were really the core things that I did. And so joined a lot of organizations that support data in tech. I did all of that. And then just so I'm not blindsided, I also worked with a consultant too. Sometimes you need people to really vet what you're doing. Just to really sort of, you need people to double check your blind spots. And I can tell you, I had a lot of blind spots because it's a lot of work. So sometimes I feel like I'm ready to submit. And then my consultant said, nope, you're not ready. This is not done. This is not done. This is not done. You can't be, because we are not applying to be rejected. Like, we are really applying. So a lot of times I felt I was ready and I was not ready. And we just said, no, we need to add more. We need to change things. We need to redo this, because it's purely evidence-based. So yeah.
Right. Honestly, I am so overwhelmed because you've literally covered the whole questions in just one question that I asked you. And it really shows how much. Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, I hear you well.
Okay. Okay. And it really shows that you were really ready and prepared for this. So I'm just going to ask you the last question. So we'll be able to bring our next guest. The next question is if you could give one piece of advice to someone preparing their migration application when it comes to the Tech Nation, visa, what would it be if you were to give an advice? Okay, I'm in Texas. I come to you, Miss Oyin, what would be that? We trust me, we could all agree that the tech industry is becoming competitive at the moment. Or like way back when it was scarce, you could barely see. I mean, I was reading a link my colleague sent to me, and like I was reading about 10,000 something something tech nation about people trying to relocate or migrate just in 2025. I don't know how to be able to get that. But however, what would be that one piece of advice that you give to anyone preparing to migrate using it?
Yes, so what I would say is don't be basic. Like it will look like a simple it looks like a simple advice, but believe me, don't be basic because and I like that you were talking where you were looking at data or trying to point to data. Believe me, the way you are trying to apply, Indians are trying to apply, Chinese are trying to apply, like everybody is trying to apply because especially to the UK, there's a lot of visa classes that have been, I won't say scrapped, but really like sometimes kind of tough. So even this one, the criteria keep changing. And so I would say don't be basic, like cross your T's and dot your I, like really cross your T's and dot your I. Make sure that like go again, double check. And it doesn't hurt if you get like a consult. If you feel you can do it yourself, like I did, but sometimes getting someone, it doesn't have to be tied to consultant. Get someone to really look at it, look at that application for you again, just to be sure that you have truly crossed your T's and dot your I. It's very important. And do research, do research, do research. Ask people to, I know that people will not give you their folder, but ask them to just help you review it and give you feedback. Like people that have it, you see them, they're on LinkedIn. I don't put it on my LinkedIn, but people put it UK Global Talent. Ask them, they will help you. Say, can you just please help me review, give me feedback? They will help you and they will give you feedback. So don't feel like you know everything in your own bubble and you want to do it and you're ready. Ask people and they will review for you.
Okay, thank you so very much, ma'am. I just want to say a big thank you for having to create time for us. And I know you're busy, and I could see the men behind you right there.
Like, because it's like almost their bedtime. So yeah, but I'm happy to
Oh,
be. If there's any question, I'm happy. If there's people that have questions before I jump off, please feel free to ask any comment. I will.
okay, okay. Please, if you know you have questions, please do well to drop them in the comment box. And of course, I would definitely read them out, and Miss Oyin will definitely give an answer to read. On behalf of the Vesti team and on behalf of the global citizens that I'm currently seeing right now, I want to say a very big thank you to Miss Oyin for joining us tonight. Thank you for having to jump on this and sharing from your wealth of knowledge and of experiences. I want to say thank you, and we hope to have you back sometime soon, perhaps. All right, thank you so very much. Have a good night. Yes, of course, good night. I mean, the difference is not really much. So have a good night and thank you so much. All right, that's all we have from Miss Oyin, guys, and I hope that was an insightful session from her. And I hope you're able to take one or two from this session, and I hope that you're going to make use of it. Let me just give like a summary of some of the things I picked from her. One is, it's just like opportunity, preparation meets with opportunity. She was going all out, she was asking questions. And I feel like some of the problem, or one of the few problems I've noticed, is that humans, we sort of feel like, okay, I can do this on my own, I don't need help. No, you can't do life alone. right? You honestly can do life alone. You should ask questions. I mean, you got to know about this webinar because someone or a particular person, took it upon themselves to say, okay, this is the solution I want to provide, to my generation. And that's why we have Vesti. And that's why we could provide the solution to you. Vesti Technology Solutions. Did you get that? So please do well to ask questions. Do well to go all out. There was a tweet my CEO posted sometimes, and it was like, this 2025, we are going above and beyond. You know that cut your coat according to we are cutting the coat as big as it's like go all out. Because at the end, you're going to be the only one to enjoy the benefits. You won't even remember Vesti when you get the opportunity to be on the global stage. You would have enjoyed 80% of everything, the fortunes that comes with it before you remember, oh, it was Vesti that actually helped. So on this note, I would like to call on our own dearest business analyst. She's a woman of, great honor, a woman who has actually been in the business for years. And yes, when she speaks, you know she has something, not just, she doesn't just open her mouth to just say something. She definitely would speak from, let me call it Rema, the Christians in the house, however. So yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to read her bio. I like to call on a very skilled business and migration analyst dedicated to providing innovation, migration, and financial solutions at Vesti, with expertise in data-driven decision making and strategic planning. She plays a pivotal role in enabling individuals and families to achieve their global relocation goals through various visas programs, including education, employment, and special talent pathways. She is a certified data analytics and a business professional. She combines both analytical expertise with a client-focused approach to deliver exceptional results. Her work is characterized by precision. I'm back here, so I'll be using this platform for now. I am so sorry. There was a trip off from my end. Apologies, please. I'll be back on the other one soonest. I'm so sorry. Okay, so I was reading about our next guests. I'll be right back shortly. Please give me a few minutes. Sincere apologies, please. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for waiting patiently. And apologies once again. I am so, so sorry. All right. So she is a certified data analytics and a business professional. She combines analytical expertise with a client-focused approach to deliver exceptional results. Her work is characterized by precision, commitment, and a passion for transforming lives through strategic migration solutions. Beyond her professional achievements, she is an advocate to continuous learning, leadership development, and an impactful collaborations that create meaningful change. Ladies and gentlemen, with no further ado, please make welcome with me Miss Olubumi Opate. Good evening, Bumi, are you here?
Hi, good evening.
Good evening. I am so sorry. I am so sorry for that. Okay, so yeah, let's get started, right? I know it's been like a very busy day for you. Guys, see, all the guests that you'll be seeing on our webinar, just for that, they are not regular people. They are extremely busy. And if we bring these people, I want you to reverend them. I want you to take it as if you're paying in, foreign currency to have to get all of this information. So let's get straight into the business of the day with Miss Bumi. That was such a wonderful session, by the way, once again, from Miss Oyin, and now we're going to Miss Olubumi Opadoyin. Are you ready for me? Okay, so let's get started. Could you briefly explain what the Tech Nation visa is and why it is important to the tech professionals?
Okay, so first I'd like to say good evening to everyone in the house and a happy new year, being the maiden edition of the webinar for 2025 Investee. Thank you so much. I learned a lot from Ms. Oyi earlier, being a success story and a beneficiary of that visa type. So without further ado, the Tech Nation visa, or better still, the Global Talent Visa, is a UK immigration route designed to attract exceptional tech talents around the world. Like I usually say, there are a lot of talent-based visas. For the UK, this is the talent-based visa, the Tech Nation visa, basically known as the Global Talent Visa for those in other fields as well. And the good thing about it, why it is important to tech professionals, it allows flexibility to work. If you know anything about a tech girl, a tech sis, one of the first things they like to ask on any job is the flexibility to work, because they want to be able to work from anywhere and be creative and productive wherever they are. And they're also able to switch jobs and establish their own startups, because the goal of every techie I have met is ability to also create theirs on the side. So this particular pathway allows you to create yours while you are growing your career. Also, it allows for dependence. Just is that visa type that allows you to migrate with your family while your family also has benefits in that country. Imagine access to schools, healthcare system, networks, a working network, and also for your spouse to work as well. Also, it helps community building, networking. If you heard Ms. Oyin, what she was talking about, you would notice that one key thing she mentioned was networking. Everything she did was strategic towards having this particular visa type. The events she attended, and one good thing I know about the UK is community. They're very, very big on community. So this allows you, access to the thriving ecosystem and the communities, the tech ecosystems, also those that are fostering growth, and it also helps you, mingle with the investors, if I'm not to say that way, as the icing on the cake. So that's why it's very, very important. And that is what the Tech Nation of the Global Talent Visa is.
All right, thank you so very much. So we move to, the business straight up. What role does Vesty play in supporting applicants for the Tech Nation visa? Because I'm very sure some of our listeners, people in the room, will be wondering, okay, why is Vesty doing this? So here is the question. I saw through your mind and I help you to ask the question. So could you please tell us, what role is Vesti, playing in supporting applicants for the Tech Nation visa?
Okay, it's more like asking what role is Vesti playing in helping migrants globally. Vesti is helping you A to Z operating system from the start of, knowing what the visa type is all about. And one key thing is there's a difference between knowing what a visa is about and knowing why you are qualified for that visa or what makes you eligible. So Vesti is able to guide you expertly by giving you clarity on, okay, I know there is a visa type called technician. How does this visa type pertain to me? One of the initiatives is having this kind of webinar to know the kind of, industry criteria that belongs in this particular category and how you qualify for it. So we give expert guidance, and after expert guidance, deciding to work with Vesti, we also help you with the documentation process, and holding, I don't even want to use the word and holding, profile upgrading, assisting you to the kind of documents you need to put together, the kind of recommendations, what your proposed endeavor or your purpose letter, your statement of purpose should look like. We give end-to-end assistance actually from the very start till you get the visa and even after you arrive in the UK. So it's basically expert guidance, giving you documentation, preparation, working with legal experts and consultants, as Ms. Oye earlier said, and also giving you strategic support because, as it is industry-based, you need to know what makes you a strong candidate and what are the strong evidences that you need to present, and also giving you, guidance through every stage from the pre-qualification to the application writing to the submission of it, and also increasing your chances of success.
All right, thank you so very much. Ms. Bumi, I love how you were so, direct and quick with the questions. So now moving on to the next one, I would like to talk about the specific skills or experiences that are most sought after, as a business, analyst. You would have, had some clients that must have gone through this route. So what are the most specific skills or experiences that are most sought after for Tech Nation visas applicants in the year 2025?
Okay, so I'm just going to let everybody know the criteria. The technician is divided into 3 subcategories. You have the one for entrepreneurs who are your founders and your co-founders. You have the ones for recognized leadership, that is for our, investor BJs. Then you have the one that are for the tech expertise. When you're talking about the tech expertise, you want to start talking about software engineering, artificial intelligence, machine learning, cybersecurity, data science, product management. Those are the kind of, digital technology they're looking for. However, it is not limited to that. So if you are also a leader with a difference, of course, when with all of the work you've done in leadership in whatever industry you belong to, that if you have evidence, like Ms. Oye, also mentioned, it's not just about writing it, it's evidential with proven evidences, all of the recommendations you have gotten, all of the thank you notes, thank you mails you've gotten, thank you letters that you've gotten over time, and also all of the contributions you have made either in your community, in your organization, or as it pertains to your own ecosystem. You also need to have that.
Okay, thank you so very much, Ms. Bumi. So now let's move on to the challenges, right? Because I wouldn't want it to seem like, oh, we're just sweet talking. Of course, there will be challenges, and at times the mistakes might come from you. From the person that is applying. So now this is a question I would be asking. What are the common mistakes applicants make and how they can be avoided when applying for the Tech Nation visas?
Okay. First mistake is thinking you can do it alone, or you can just go on it all on your own without guidance. I would permit me to say you are shooting yourself in the foot, even if you have all of the evidences. Why? Because you don't even know how to catalog this evidences all together to prove a strong application. So you need to know what is an application and what is a strong application. There's a difference between, okay, I just put down my application, and there's a difference between, I put out a strong application. It's like an HR calling for work, and they say, okay, everyone submit your resume. How you will view someone who has submitted their resume is different from how you view another person who has been guided, to submit it with a strong cover letter, right? Detailing who they are and a summary. So the first thing you want to have is proper guidance. And aside that, you need to know what are the evidences required. A lot of people, one of the major cause of failure in technician will be insufficient evidence, even while they've submitted so much. So they've submitted so much of so little. So you don't want to have insufficient evidences. Also, you want to make sure, that's why I said expert guidance cannot be underestimated, because you want to know that you're not submitting a weak recommendation letter. There are weak recommendation letters. There are just bland recommendation letters. And there are strong recommendation letters based on the lines, the words used, and as it aligns to the fields that that person has worked in and their contribution. Also, you don't want to lack innovation. Of course, you're applying because you are an innovator, you are a tech talent, or you are a talent in whatever field you are applying for. So you want to show that you are an innovative person and you're coming to add to the ecosystem in the United Kingdom. Also, you don't want to put too much of irrelevant information. So that's why I said expert guidance from beginning to the end. I will keep mentioning expert guidance, because for every document you submit, you want to be properly guided. Another thing you want to make sure is you have your deadlines right. What is the deadline for submission of application? What is the deadline for submission of supporting evidences as they required? Also, you don't want to rush the process. Remember, so you mentioned how long it took her to prepare. Now, there are a lot of people who would misquote when I say rushing the process. A lot of people take note of, they said I shouldn't rush the process, so I think I need to go and get this letter, and you're getting too much of nothing. Because at the time you now meet with the expert will be like, all of the time you spent is lost, because every document you thought you were taking time to put together are actually still very weak. So the first part you want to get is getting expert guidance. And I think that is where Vesty comes in. Expert guidance. When you get expert guidance, it begins to tell you, okay, these are the documents I think I need to put together. Between this time and this time, I think I should be done with document gathering. Between this time and this time, I can put forward my first application. And this is the deadline for this process. So a lot of people come to you, in the nick of the hour and be like, I want to have this application submitted in 2 weeks. For somebody that has, little to nothing to put together as a strong application. So I cannot underestimate the mistakes can go on and on and on. And one of the greatest, if not the greatest remedy, is seeking expert advice, expert guidance on this particular process.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Winnie. So let's move on to, you already spoke about university support in having to get all of this done. So can attendees ask follow-up questions like after now? And how can they reach out to Vesty after now? I think, okay, go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. So one of the greatest things at Vesty is everyone operates on an open door policy. You reach out to Eniola and you still get to meet the right person. However, if you want to send us email, please do well to send a mail to talentvisa@wevesty.com. That's the general body, talentvisa@wevesty.com. If you want to ask me questions, of course, do well to send a mail to bumi@wevesty.com. If you want to reach out to Mr. Olu, of course, definitely you can also shoot him a mail via olu@wevesty.com. We're always very available to help, guide, and support wherever you might be.
Okay, thank you so very much, Miss Bumi. If there is any one advice you would like to give to any of the tech bros and tech aunties, I know you're a tech person. Business analyst. There's a touch of tech in your work, so you're gonna tell us if there is going to be any advice to give those that are watching or listening to us. What will it be for the year 2025? What would be your mantra to?
Okay, so Not a mantra, but I have a bit of advice to give everyone. It's look beyond relocation and start to think global. There is always an opportunity for where you are. And also take note that Vesti has pre-qualification tests. Every time we have this webinar, I see a lot of mails come back like, you want me to book this, you want me to book that? And I tell them, take the pre-qualification test. Like the Tech Nation as the pre-qualification test. It's becoming as a thank you mail after this to everyone who attended this webinar. There's a pre-qualification test to know if you qualify. The website talking about the Tech Nation is also up and running. You can visit to know all about the Tech Nation. Our migration assistant is there to ask you. Now, if you want expert guidance that you're ready to take on this, please do well to take a clarity call. Don't forget, the payment counts towards the entire process should you decide to proceed. So it's not a loss, it's a win-win. And what do you get in this? This is a frequently asked question. Let me tell you, you gain information, necessary, expertly guided information. So you don't have too much information about no information at all.
Okay, someone is literally asking here, how much do you charge for tech talent guidance here at Vesti? So what would be your answer to that?
So if you say tech talent guidance, now that means you're asking me how much I charge for O1, EB1, EB2, and IW. I will tell you, please, you can reach out via mail and we'll let you know. Just let me know the visa type. But if you're talking about the UK Tech Nation, it ranges from £7,500 to £8,500. There are people that would need, support, and there are people that would not need much support. So it depends on what you need. If you don't need profile upgrading and all that, then the fee is very different. So I think you can just shoot us a mail and let's kickstart the process.
All right. So where should they send the email to? So I will chat. Let me put it on the chat.
Okay. So you can talentvisa@vivesti.com, or you can also shoot me a mail on bunmi@vivesti.com.
Okay, so that's it. talentvisa@vivesti.com or bunmi@vivesti, right?
Yes, bunmi@vivesti.com. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so that's it, the comment section. Okay, so also you can get to visit our website, yes, and download our app, because honestly, the questions that you want to ask, anything that you need to do about Vesti is definitely on our, on our websites and also on our platform. So please, if you're yet to follow us across all socials, so before we joined this, started this webinar, we've got quite a number of requests. Oh, what's happening to your Instagram page? We've been trying to look for you. We didn't get to see Vesti. Relax. God is in control. But however, that's by the way, our Instagram page is currently under construction for now. We're trying to fix some things. So, but once we're back like we never left. But however, you can get to visit us or follow us on LinkedIn. Yes, on LinkedIn, Vesti. On Twitter is Vesti X app, Vesti Official, and on TikTok, yes, we have Vesti Team. And also you can get to follow our CEO, co-founder, in person of Mr. Olushola Amuson via Instagram, which is Olushola Amuson on Instagram. You can get to visit follow him on Instagram. You get all of the information that you need to know. Perhaps maybe you're feeling lazy to, follow other social platforms. But our advice that you follow us on LinkedIn. And as a tech bro and tech sis trying to, apply for the Tech Nation visa, another platform that I feel you should not, joke with is LinkedIn. Yes. So please, LinkedIn is another platform, a social platform that I'll say that you should not take for granted. So do well. If you're yet to follow, if you're yet to, open LinkedIn accounts, please do well to open it tonight. Every, journey starts with simple step. You don't have to start with a bigger step. Just one step at a time. So I would know if you're serious tonight. If you don't have a LinkedIn account, do well to open tonight. Follow Vesti, and also X app, follow us. On Twitter, get to follow us via Vesti Team, and you can get to follow our co-founder and of course our CEO, Olushola Amuson. All right, so before I call it a day today, I'd like to tell us that should you're wondering when next are we going to be having this kind of, gathering again, come 30th of January, we are going to be having another webinar, and it's a global visa types. You know, I know some of you are wondering, why is it just all about Tech Nation visa, Tech Nation visa? If you want to know more about visa, global visa types, do well to make it a date with us come January 30th. The link will be out, the flyer, all of the information that you need to know will be out next week. Yes, so you should register, you should get to know more information, and please do well to share it. Spread the good news of Vesti to people around you. Do not, you know, yeah, okay. We also have, do not let them miss out on this opportunity. We also have our Tech Nation website on the chat group sent by Miss Olubumi. Click on it, you get to, you know, know more about the Tech Nation visa here at Vesti. So please do well to take all of this information, make use of them, and make sure that your 2025 is starting on a great note. That's what we're starting with the Tech Nation visa. So please, the vibe or the energy you're using to start the year 2025, keep going with them. Like, keep with it. Like, keep at it. Don't stop. Don't drop it down. We must make it by fire, by force. All of the prophecies we got from the new year, you know, watch night service from our pastors. This is how it will come to pass. So, platforms like this, right? This is how it will come to pass. You know, someone said something. He said, any faith that is solely reliable on God or depending on God is an irresponsible faith. So you have to put in your own work too. That's why Vesti is here to help you. Send us a DM right now. You can send me a DM on LinkedIn. I'm available. I'll reply you via Twitter, X app. I'm available. TikTok. I'm available. Even via email. Miss Bumi, we answer you. She's available. We are here for you. So please feel free to ask questions and do well to take that step. I hope you all have an impactful section tonight, and I hope that I get to see you again come January 30th for our next webinar. Do well to follow us. Download the Vesti app today. If you're yet to download the Vesti app, I don't know, what are you doing? What are you doing? Yes, Miss Marie, you want to say something?
Yes, so I wanted to invite everyone to our first Going Global webinar for the year 2025. It's happening in Lagos on the 30th at 4 Points by Sheraton. The registration is going to be dropped shortly. Please do well to register and attend. You'll get to have, you know, first-hand information about all of these visa types, and you also get to network with some of the exclusive industry leaders that will be attending the event that evening. Also, you get to ask questions. Myself, you get to ask other experts within the house, and also Mr. Olushola Amuson himself will be around to respond to your questions. So the link will be dropped shortly. Please do well to register.
All right, and not just about that. For those, I think that we have a participant from USA. We are having Going Global USA as well. So please, that's why we're saying you should follow us on our socials. Going Global Houston. Going Global Houston is coming. Going Global Ghana is coming. Going Global Lagos, Abuja is also coming. So please do well to follow us across all of our socials that are currently, you know, that we currently have now, which is the LinkedIn, which is the X app, and of course TikTok. Do well. And if you're yet to join our community, we have the Ghana Vesti community, we have the Zambia community, Vesti community, and of course we have a Telegram channel. Yes, we have a Telegram channel. If you're yet to join, then please just, yes, do well to send us a DM. We'll send you all of these links so you join and you get to have the first-hand information before anyone gets to know about it. So on this note, I want to say thank you once again at our amiable guests, Miss Oyi and Miss Olubumi. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you have an amazing night, and I hope that this session was impactful. Please, if this session was impactful to you and it's worth having to wait for, can you please drop your comments in the chat box? Let me see. It will help us do better, and you know, we'll get to know where we should do better. If this was impactful to you, yes, thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Jane. I hope to see you at Going Global Houston. All right, thank you, Mr. Basi Atiata. I hope I'm correct. Yes, Thank you so much. Do well to, register for Going Global with us and follow us across all our socials. Until next time, please have a good night and stay. Okay, we'll give room for next session. Okay, definitely we will. We were told to drop your questions in. You were told to drop your questions in the comment section. But however, we'll take that feedback gladly and humbly. Thank you so much. We'll definitely give room for more questions next session. And I hope to see you, Mr. Favor Greg. I look forward to see you next session. All right, thank you so much. Have a good night. Peace out.